Welcome, everyone. So today we're doing a deep dive presentation into a classic fable known as The Monkey and the Ant. But, this really isn't just some simple children's story. It actually holds these incredibly profound lessons about human behavior, our overall mindset, and exactly how we prepare for the future. We're going to see firsthand how our daily habits and attitudes literally end up shaping our ultimate destiny. So let's just jump right in. But right before we meet our two main characters, I actually want to ask you a pretty direct, personal question. Have you ever underestimated someone small? I mean, think about it. In our daily lives, we constantly judge people by their physical size, maybe their status, or even just how quiet they are. We kind of just assume that whoever is small or quiet is, well, inherently weak. But as we're going to unpack today, that can be a massive and honestly sometimes dangerous misconception. All right, part one. Two different characters and two very different mindsets. Okay, so here the core conflict is established beautifully and really simply. On one side, we've got a mischievous monkey whose entire identity is basically wrapped up in jumping around trees and, frankly, wasting time. His behavior is just the absolute epitome of unprepared arrogance. And on the other side, we have a hardworking ant, just quietly and persistently gathering grain. Her actions are pure foresight and diligence. So this isn't just a quick comparison between two animals. It's honestly the ultimate face-off between total recklessness and steady consistency. Moving on to part two, pride and hard work, and the inevitable clash between them. So one day, the monkey's eyes fell on the ant. He laughed, and in this super arrogant, mocking tone, he says, "You're so small, what can you possibly do?" The key takeaway here, right, is that the monkey is judging her entirely based on outward appearance. In his sheer arrogance, he is fully convinced that physical size is absolutely everything, and being small is just a universal sign of helplessness and incompetence. But the ant, she didn't get angry. She didn't yow. Instead, she calmly smiled and gave an answer that became legendary. Being small is not a weakness. Hard work and wisdom are the greatest strengths. Wow. I mean, that is not just a clever comeback, it's a truly profound truth about life. True strength isn't actually found in your physical stature or, how loud you can shout. It's built entirely on your wisdom and your relentless hard work. Which brings us to part three, the arrival of hard times and a brutal test of preparation. Now, this timeline tells us exactly how quickly things can change. Point number one, for days, the everyday routine just continued. The monkey played, the ant worked. Point number two, just a few hours ago, that arrogant mocking we talked about was still happening. And then, look at point number three. In a matter of minutes, the situation completely flipped. A sudden, violent rainstorm hit the jungle, literally out of nowhere. Time was officially up, and that window for preparation had just completely slammed shut. Just look at the stark, bitter contrast of their outcomes in the aftermath of the rain. On one hand, we have that arrogant monkey who is now completely starving with absolutely zero food. Turns out all that jumping around isn't really doing him any good now, is it? Meanwhile, on the other hand, our hardworking ant is completely safe, just resting comfortably at her home with all her saved grain. So I have to ask you, when a sudden rain falls in your own life, maybe it's an unexpected financial hit or an emotional hardship, are you going to be like the starving monkey, or have you already done the hard work to prepare like the ant? And that leads us right into part four, lesson and humility, when reality finally breaks pride. So the monkey finally realizes the massive magnitude of his mistake. He actually went to the ant and said, "I made fun of you, but today I understand that only the one who works hard succeeds." Because, let's be totally honest here, playfully jumping on tree branches during a massive monsoon doesn't magically conjure up a buffet of food, right? He really had to learn the hard way about the immense value of practical work and foresight. But you know what elevates this from just a common fable to an absolute masterpiece? It's this brilliant piece of advice from the ant. She didn't hold a grudge. She didn't taunt the monkey with a big "I told you so." Instead, she gracefully forgave him and offered this profound thought. Instead of making fun of others, one should learn something from them. That right there is the absolute pinnacle of humility. It's a massive leadership lesson in exactly how to behave after you've won. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? The final, complete lesson of this story stands really firmly on four clear pillars. First up, hard work, which is just the undeniable key to success. Second, wisdom, which prepares you for that completely unknown future. Third, humility, which teaches you to respect absolutely everyone. And fourth, the harm of pride, because it will always eventually lead straight to your downfall. And honestly, the most inspiring part of all this is that from that day forward, the monkey actually adopted these exact traits. He started working hard and he never underestimated anyone ever again. Well, we've reached the end of our analysis today, and I really want to leave you with this piercing question. Reflect on it carefully, okay? Instead of mocking others, what can you actually learn from them? Look around you. It's highly possible that the person you might be overlooking or kind of underestimating right now holds the greatest life lesson you could ever learn. Look inward. Evaluate your own humility and ask yourself, are you actually putting in the hard work today to weather the storms of your tomorrow? I really hope this presentation challenged you to think a little bit deeper. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember, the learning never stops.